There is a reaction happening on your face right now that you have almost no control over. You don't decide to do it. You don't think about the muscles involved. It happens before you've even finished processing what you heard. A smile? Most people assume laughter and smiling are simple responses to something funny. A joke arrives. The brain registers, this is amusing. The face reacts accordingly. Simple cause and effect. But here's the strange part. Long before neuroscientists could explain why a joke makes you smile, they noticed something unusual. The smile often begins before the punchline even lands. Sometimes, before the person even understands what's funny. The body seems to know something is coming before the mind has caught up. That single observation would eventually unravel one of the strangest mysteries in human psychology. Now here's where it gets interesting. For decades, researchers believed humor was mostly cognitive. You hear a setup, your brain builds an expectation. The punchline breaks that expectation, and the resulting mental error gets flagged as amusing. This is called incongruity theory. It explains part of the puzzle, but it doesn't explain the smile itself. An error in expectation is a mental event. A smile is physical. Something has to bridge the gap between a thought and a facial muscle contraction happening in a fraction of a second. That bridge turned out to be older than language itself. In the 1990s, neuroscientist Robert Provine spent years studying laughter in its natural habitat. Not comedy clubs, everyday conversations. He and his research team recorded over 1,000 instances of spontaneous laughter in public settings. And what they found upended everything. Fewer than 20% of the laughter Provine recorded followed anything resembling a joke. Most laughter followed ordinary statements. "I'll see you later. It was nice meeting you." Statements with no comedic content at all. But that's only half the story. Provine's data suggested something remarkable. Smiling and laughing are not primarily reactions to humor. They're social signals, tools for bonding, for releasing tension, for holding a group together. The joke, it turns out, is often just the occasion. The real purpose is connection. But if that's true, why does a well-constructed joke still produce such a strong, almost involuntary smile? Even when you're alone? Even when no one else is around to bond with? This is where the explanation should have ended. It didn't. Researchers studying facial expressions found that genuine amusement activates a very specific set of muscles, the zygomatic major, which pulls the corners of the mouth upward, and the orbicularis oculi, which crinkles the skin around the eyes. This combination is called a Duchenne smile, named after the 19th century French neurologist who first mapped it. Here's the twist. The orbicularis oculi is nearly impossible to activate voluntarily. You can fake a mouth smile. You cannot easily fake the eyes, which means somewhere in the brain a judgment is being made. Automatically, almost instantly, a judgment about whether something is genuinely rewarding. And that judgment is happening in a part of the brain most people never associate with comedy at all. Brain imaging studies from the early 2000s pointed to an unexpected region, the nucleus accumbens, a structure buried deep in the brain's reward circuitry, the same structure activated by food, by addictive substances, by anything the brain interprets as valuable for survival. When a joke lands, this region lights up almost identically to how it lights up during other pleasurable experiences. Think about that. Your brain is not treating humor as a separate, special category of experience. It is treating a good joke the same way it treats a reward. That reframes the entire mystery. Why would evolution wire something as trivial as a pun or a clever twist of logic into the same circuitry that rewards eating and bonding? Detected an inconsistency, determined it's not dangerous, rewarded itself for solving the puzzle, and displayed the result on your face in under half a second. But the deeper question is this: why the face at all? Why not just an internal feeling with no outward sign? This is where the story turns towards something much older than comedy, something rooted in the earliest primates. Primatologists studying chimpanzees and bonobos discovered a facial expression strikingly similar to human smiling. They call it the play face. It appears during rough and tumble play among young primates, and it serves one critical function, signaling that aggressive-looking behavior is not actually aggression. A play face tells other primates in real time, this looks dangerous, but it isn't. Human laughter and smiling appear to be evolutionary descendants of that exact signal. When a joke creates tension, through absurdity, taboo, or unexpected logic, the smile functions the same way the ancient play face did. It announces to yourself and to everyone around you that the tension you just registered is safe, not a threat, just play. which means every time you smile at a joke today, you are performing a gesture whose evolutionary roots reach back millions of years, long before language existed, long before comedy existed, to a time when the ability to instantly signal "this is safe" could determine whether a social group trusted you enough to let you stay close. That is the deeper implication hiding beneath something as small as a smile. It is not simply an aesthetic reaction to cleverness. It is a survival mechanism repurposed by culture into an art form. Every stand-up comedian on a stage is, in a sense, performing an elaborate simulation of danger and safety, over and over. Watching a room full of strangers respond with an ancient reflex their conscious minds barely control, which raises an unsettling thought to end on. If the smile evolved to say "this is safe," then somewhere in the architecture of every joke you've ever laughed at, a part of your brain briefly believed something dangerous had just occurred, and only afterward decided it hadn't. The humor isn't in the joke itself. It's in the split-second relief that follows it. You've spent your entire life mistaking a survival signal for entertainment. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, subscribe for more. See you in the next one.